Hi everyone, my name is Rohan Dev and welcome to the first episode of this series that I'm doing, which is called What the Finance. In this series, basically, I'm trying to discuss some basic accounting and finance concepts that might be very important for any person who has not gone through accounting degree or something, but it's very important for you to know. In this first episode, I'll be talking about accounting standards and why they are important. So let's quickly get into the video and I'll try to keep this as short as possible. So let me just share my screen. Okay, I hope it's all visible to you guys. Okay, let's get started. So accounting standards and why they are important. So firstly, what are accounting policies? So basically the most important thing for you to note is that accounting, the process of accounting, double entry system and stuff is same for everyone. But there are certain policies that the companies might take which might be unique to that company and its environment. Now, accounting policies can vary from rate of depreciation, valuation of fixed asset, valuation of inventories, amortization rates, deferred tax, earning per share. There can be multiple different accounting policies that over time the company takes. Now, what happens is that when you take any accounting policy, it affects your preparation and presentation of financial statements. Now you'll think, what is preparation and presentation? So preparation is basically the underlying accounting of the company. So the journal entries, the notes to accounts, like journal entries, ledgers, account, the basically the preparation of the accounts, which is the underlying thing. And presentation of financial statement basically means how I am presenting my uh, financial statements to my stakeholders. So what, as an investor, I only see the balance sheet of the company. I don't see what is the debtors ledger or creditors ledger or debtor account and all those things. I only see the uh, balance sheet, profit and loss account, cash flow statement, statement of changes in equity, and so on. So I only see the presentation of the financial statement, which is this part. And preparation of financial statement is done by the company and the backend, which is the underlying accounting. So any accounting policy affects the presentation and preparation of the financial statement. Uh, Accounting policies, as I said, that it might be very different accounting policies that a company might be following. For example, useful determination of useful life, depreciation, provision, impairment, EPS, deferred tax, then so there are multiple accounting for grants is there, leases is there, revenue recognition is there. So there are lots of accounting policies that might that a company might take. Now, why is it important for us to create a standardized accounting policy? So that is my first thing that I want to talk about. So the three reasons that I can say is, uh, firstly is consistency. So consistency is important because as a stakeholder or investor of a company, it's very important for me that the accounting policies that are there uh, are consistently being applied year on year. So for example, in the first year of a company, the company might value its inventory at cost. Okay, so cost means whatever I paid for it. And in the second year, if the company decides to account for the inventories in NRV, that might create a difference between, okay, inventory last year it was this much and now this year it grew so much or came down. Okay, so that's why what happens is, it if you don't follow an accounting policy, a standardized accounting policy, that might create an inconsistency between your last year's financial result and this year's financial result. So that is why accounting standards are implemented. Reliability is basically whenever as an investor I know that the company is following its accounting standards, it means it gives me a reliability that, okay, whatever the company has done is somewhere within the purview of the accounting standards, and I can kind of rely on their accounting policies. There's nothing that's very drastically different that the company can do which is beyond the accounting standards. Comparability, so comparability is again just like consistency. Comparability helps because in today's world, India is growing global, so it's very important for an investor to know that, okay, this is the performance of Tata Motors versus Ford or Honda or some other company, which is, so that even not only in India. In India, I'll be able to compare the financial statements of Maruti and Hyundai. But I also need to compare the financial statements of Maruti, Hyundai, BMW, and let's say Kia and stuff. So it's very important for me as an investor to be able to compare the financial statements, and having a standardized accounting policy helps me compare the accounting statement. Otherwise, let's say two companies follow very drastically different accounting policies, that will create a difference in the balance sheet, and I won't be able to compare them as well. So that's why comparability. However, these are the benefits of accounting policies, but there are two main disadvantages of uh, accounting policies. One is flexibility. So flexibility means basically, if as an accountant I feel like uh, if I account for some kind of a any kind of a accounting thing, I feel like if I did it like this way, it would be more consistent. For example, depreciation. So I might think that I should calculate depreciation on the basis of how much the machine is being used, and not on a straight line basis. But sometimes that unique kind of a depreciation model might not be there in the accounting standard, which creates a kind of a lack of flexibility in accounting. But I think that is fine, even though its flexibility is not there. But to maintain comparability and consistency, it's very important accounting standards are there. Second thing is constant changes. So accounting, the entire process of accounting standards keeps changing as the environment keeps changing. So for example, recently the lease accounting standard that got amended, and it led to a overhaul of like all the companies that are maintaining leases. They had to make a drastic amount of changes in their balance sheet. So any kind of a change that is made in the accounting policy creates a huge impact on the financial statements of that company. Not only in the financial statements, but also behind the scenes, to make those changes and implement those changes, that creates a kind of a hassle for the company. So that's something that constant change in the accounting standard kind of adds another burden on the company. Now you might be asking, because it's a standardized accounting, like it's an accounting standard, so there should be, who is issuing this standard, and why do I need to follow, like why do I follow that person's accounting standard? So the accounting standards that are issued in India are issued by Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So Institute of Chartered Accountants of India is the highest body of accountants in India. So all chartered accountants are part of this Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Institute of Chartered Accountants of India has a separate board called the Accounting Standard Board, which comprises of members and people from the industry. They form this accounting standard board and formulate these accounting standards. So firstly, they identify the areas in which the accounting standards, new concepts that are coming in. So maybe let's suppose this is not has not come yet, but maybe somewhere down the line they might have a accounting standard on cryptocurrency. Okay, so as and when the industry evolves, right now there was no accounting standard for cryptocurrency, but later on they might decide no, cryptocurrency might need a new standard. So they'll identify the areas first, then they'll create a draft accounting standard key. What are the presentations, what are the disclosures, what are the accounting treatment, initial recognition, subsequent recognition. So there are a lot of things that go into an accounting standard. So they create a draft. Once that draft is created, they circulate that draft to the members of ICAI and other accounting bodies and invite comments from them. And based on the comment, they kind of make the changes and incorporate the suggestions, and then they issue the final draft. Now the final draft is issued by Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and then the accounting standards are issued. Okay, these accounting standards will then be notified by MCA. So if those accounting standards are governed, if relate to a company, those will be issued by MCA, because MCA is the like entire body, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So any kind of accounting standard that is issued by ICAI is then notified by the MCA in the official Gazette of India, right? So that's who issues accounting standards. Now, what are the different accounting standards in India and outside India? So in India will come later, but outside India also there are multiple accounting standards. For example, IFRS, IAS, and US GAAP. IFRS is basically International Financial Reporting Standards. IA is in International Accounting Standards, and US GAAP are US general accounting, generalized accounting, generally accepted accounting policies. Okay, so these are the, there might be others as well, but these are the three major accounting standards that are there in India, globally. Now in India, there are two main accounting standards. One is your AS and Ind AS. AS is basically the old standard that was issued long time back, and Ind AS is a new standard that has been recently issued, which is in line with the international accounting standards like IFRS and US GAAP. So what Indian government realized and ICAI realized was that as India becomes globalized and there are foreign investors that are coming in, we need to align our books of accounts with the international global policies that are there. So like they wanted to incorporate the policies and accounting standards which are there in the IFRS and kind of implement them. So it's basically a mix of the old accounting standards and then taking the new things that are there in the IFRS and kind of making a Ind AS. So they could have uh, directly implemented IFRS also, but what they realized was there are some nuances which are very subjective to the Indian scenario. So kind of they took the IFRS, they Indianized it and made it Ind AS. So this is a newer standard which is in line with the global standards. This is compulsory for all companies whose net worth is more than 250 crores. And their subsidiary, their holding, their associate and joint venture. So any company whose net worth is more than 250 crores is required to maintain their accounts as per the Ind AS. Any listed company, any company that is listed on the stock exchange. So there are two, three, four, five. There are multiple stock exchanges in India. So any company that is either listed or is in the process of being listed in the stock exchange, they have to follow Ind AS. Banks, NBFC, insurance company, they are also mandatorily required to follow Ind AS because their financials are very important for the entire economy. So it's very important to have consistency in their financial accounts. Other than this, if your net worth is less than 250 crores and you're not listed, you can follow the older ASs that are there, or some organizations like firms and stuff, they can still follow the old accounting standard. However, if you want, this is mandatory for these people, but for if you want, you can on your own, you can choose to follow these standards. So that's all for accounting standards and why they are important. And I hope that you guys got to understand what accounting standards are. Now now when you see the annual report and you see Ind AS and stuff, you get to know that what Ind AS is and why they are important. So yeah, so that's it for this video. Please let me know what if you have any questions regarding, firstly, any questions regarding this video. Secondly, if you want me to make a follow-up video on any particular topic related to accounting, finance, cost accounting, please let me know. I'll be happy to make the same. And yeah, so looking forward to making more videos for this series, and looking forward to more interaction in the comments. So thank you so much for watching the first episode of What the Finance, and let's meet you in the next episode. Thank you.